All right, we have Alabama head coach Nate Oats and student athletes Mark Sears and Grant Nelson. We'll begin with a statement from Coach Oats, and then we'll open it up for questions first for the student athletes. Coach Oats.
I mean, our guys showed some character. They've been showing some character these last 3 games. We've been questioned all year on defense, and probably rightfully so, but our defense showed up, particularly in the second half. You know, we had a game plan. You got to give North Carolina credit. I mean, they're a very good team. They've played well all year. You know, but we had a game plan. You got to give Cadeau and Trimble a lot of credit, though. We planned on leaving them open. They had 4 threes in the first half, so we questioned whether to stay with it or not. We decided to stick with it. You know, those guys ended up not playing very many minutes, 13 between the two of them. So I think the plan was right. We just, sometimes stuff doesn't go your way. They didn't hit that many threes, but we just stuck with it. Our word's been next this whole tournament. Next play, next play. They hit it. I told them that's on me. Just next play, next play. We'll figure it out. We made adjustments, and these guys just kept making plays. And I want to say Sears he scored at least 20 points. I don't know how many straight games, or 20 out of the last 22 or something. Late, he's been great for us. So I went to him, when we were down there late, and I said, what do we got to run? He said, forget it, man. Get it to Grant. Grant's cooking. Let's go with Grant. Let's roll. And look, when you got your leading scorer and best player telling you to run plays for somebody else on the team, I think we used the word Mudita a lot that we stole from Coach Murphy with softball. That's the definition of Mudita. He's vicarious joy through Grant's great game, and Grant has 24, 12, and 5. Grant showed up, and we've been in one Elite 8 in the history of Alabama basketball. This dude showed up tonight in a big way against one of the best bigs in the country. And Baycott was good. I mean, Baycott had 19, 12, and 1. Grant had 24, 12, and 5. I think people question whether we're frail, soft, whatever. Grant showed we're not. We can go with the big boys. And, Clemson's good. Clemson beat us at our place, so we got to get locked in and figure it out. They're a really good team, so we got a short-lived celebration. I told the guys they can celebrate for about 30 minutes. As soon as the media's out of the locker room, we got to get moving on to Clemson.
All right, we'll open it up for questions for the student athletes first. Let's go ahead right here, front row.
Grant, Ryan Hennessy, WVTM 13 in Birmingham. What Mark did, just kind of believing in you, and I saw there was no doubt when you had the ball in your hand, the ISO. What were you feeling out there?
Just all the confidence in the world. These guys coming up to me, telling me great things. I didn't start this tournament with the best 2 games. And then, these guys just saying, go out there, go get a bucket, really. That gives me a lot of confidence, and I give them a lot of credit. I couldn't have done it without them.
Keep it in the front row.
Charlie Potter with Bama Online. For both guys, Coach Oates said this is the second ever Elite 8 for Alabama. Just what does that mean to lead this team to that point?
It's very historical, but, like Coach said, we can celebrate this for 30 minutes, and after that we're on to the next opponent.
Yeah. We've been working for this all season, but this wasn't our end goal. And, it's good we got here. Something like the school, like you said, we haven't done really, or one other time. So, it's great. We're going to celebrate it for a little bit, and then we're going to move on next game.
Keep here in the front.
Nick Kelly, Tuscaloosa News. Grant, there was a period in the second half where I think there were several possessions in a row where you were just making plays. What was behind there? What was your mindset there?
Like I said, coaches, players giving me confidence to go out there and kind of just give me the ball, and being able to make plays on their bigs. If they shrunk in, I'd be able to kick it out. But they play one-on-one defense. I give them a lot of credit. They played a great game. But like I said, just giving me confidence and just using that.
Over there in the third row.
Yeah, Beth Harris, AP. Mark, tough second half for you, but what was it like seeing your boy Grant go to work?
Man, it was. I was very proud of him, because like you said, he was struggling the first 2 games, and to see him carry us to get this win, it was very amazing because, at the end of the day, all I care about is winning. I don't care about points or all the accolades. At this time of the season, it's all about winning. It's win or go home.
In the front row right here.
Mike Rodak with Bama, 247. Just with R.J. Davis held the 420 shooting 0-9 on threes. Just what was the approach and what was the game plan with him?
Ryland shout out to Ryland, man. He did a great job on him. You know, we don't win this game without Ryland locking him up, and he executed the game plan.
The back row. Oh, sorry.
Back here.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, Ryland locking in, and I think 3 got hot for a little bit. Ryland said, "I want him." He stopped making shots. So, I mean, Ryland was a big factor in this game. He deserves a lot of credit.
Back row.
Mark, Joe Goodman, AL.com. You guys, they had 10 threes in the first half, and y'all were still right there. What were you guys thinking at the break?
You know, their main guys weren't going, but it was like the reserves and the role players. They had kept them in the game. I mean, we know we were executing the game plan. We just knew we had to fix those little things. And in the second half, I felt like we fixed those little things to get this win.
Fourth row.
There are probably quite a few people who tune into college basketball, you know, late in the year when March Madness begins, and probably quite a few people asking, who is Grant Nelson? Can you fill us in a little bit on life in North Dakota and how you ended up here? And I wonder, Mark, if you could share some details about Grant.
I don't
as
think
well.
they're asking that anymore. Maybe in the middle of the game. I don't think by now they should be asking who he is anymore.
Yeah, they already know who he is now.
Tell us a little bit about North Dakota, how you ended up here, and Mark, you could share some stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm from a small town, Devil's Lake. Shout out all those guys. But I mean, it's just a loving community. I really grew up with everything I could ask for. Playing basketball at the park every day. Had a good high school team. We didn't go very far many years, but I mean, it got me to North Dakota State, where I stayed 3 years, and then entered the portal. I like Coach Oats a little bit, so I gave Alabama a chance, and I mean, I think it's paying off.
Both bad golfers trying to get better. We've golfed a little bit too.
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to teach me how to drive. I'm trying. Yeah, neither one of us are very good.
Hey, Mark Myers, AP Radio for Grant. We all know Carolina, the long history, tradition, winning forever. They came in the top seed, and you beat them. Tell us why we should not be surprised by what your team did tonight?
Yeah, I think us scheduling our non-conference really had a big part in this. Learning from a lot of those games we played, a lot of the losses, playing some of the best bigs in the nation, whether that was Arizona or Edie at Purdue. And, you know, just kind of being able to learn from those games and figure out a scouting report, and then coming into this one and executing it. And then just not like going away from it when they started hitting shots or stuff like that. So I think our non-conference had a big part to do with this.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Go ahead in the back. Get you a mic.
Mark, could you talk about Nick Pringle's toughness tonight? He was clearly labored. Wednesday, it looked like he was limping in practice, and it just kind of caught up to him, but he never stopped fighting.
Oh, you know, man, we don't win this game without Nick either. You know, he was battling with Baycott, one of the best bigs in the country. And, you know, Nick was going at it. They was going at it. And down the stretch when we were getting the stops, he was a very big part of that because he was very locked in, and he was getting rebounds and stops, and that really helped us get out in transition and run.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, Mark, Grant, thank you very much. And we'll now open up for questions for Coach Oats. Go ahead right here in the front first.
Nick Kelly, Tuscaloosa News. Nate, you've talked about once you got Grant, you had a big that played the way you guys want to play. Did you ever envision it could be as good as it was tonight with him in the lineup?
I did. I thought he could be this good. And, you know, did I say I thought he'd be this good going into the game today? No, you know, because he'd been struggling, but I knew he's capable of it when we got him. I mean, we ran the one pick and roll with him handling it. He got downhill. He scored when Baycott had the 3 fouls. You know, he's 6'11", can handle and pick and rolls. He shot the 1-3 when we took the lead. I mean, that thing was all net. He's been shooting it really well the last couple of days. Look, we had voluntary shooting 2 nights ago. Like, 3 guys went. Grant Nelson went, and he showed up. I mean, he was 10 of 11 at the free throw line before those last 2. You know, 2 of 2 from 3. Like, Grant Nelson deserves to play well. He works hard. He's been all about the right stuff all year. Even when he's struggled, he just stays with it. So I couldn't be happier for Grant. But did I expect 24, 12, and 5? No. Did I know? Would I said I'd been totally shocked? No, because I know he's capable of it. But, man, he showed up tonight.
right here in the front.
There was a point in January where you said these are a lot of good kids and there's a lot of good personalities on the team, but maybe they weren't competitive enough or tough enough in some of the big moments. Just how did you get from point A to point B where in these big moments they obviously were very competitive?
Look, we kept challenging them. We got to get more competitive in practice, challenge, like just put it there. I'll say what, leadership on the team. Nick Pringle's been great all week. All right, last 3 games, Pringle's leadership. And then tonight, he's been battling this foot injury all year. And it's really flaring up, and you could tell he just wasn't himself. But shoot, I'm looking like we were 28 points per 100 possessions better on defense with him in the game than when he wasn't. So you say a lot about like the leadership of guys trying to get us to compete. Mark Sears has competed as hard as he's ever competed since he's been at Alabama these last 3 games. Like when the season's on the line, we've been challenging these guys all year. They've stepped up. So I got to give these guys a lot of credit. And then, Aaron Estrada, next time we lose, it's the last game he plays. Like he's playing like it. I thought he came out playing great. We just kind of go down the line. Jaron Stevenson didn't score it well, but he led the team in plus-minus. Plus the kid from Chapel Hill, it was a special game for him. He should still be in high school. Just kind of go down the list of everybody. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Diabate. So these guys are bringing their competitive side out at the right time. You want to be peaking in March, we're peaking in March.
Keep it in the front.
Coach, I asked you yesterday about the 5 years that you've been here, and all you talked about was Final Four. We got to get – so you're starting to turn Elite Eight. Why not? Last year everyone thought that was the team. Why not this team?
We got 1 game away, and it's a really good – it's not easy. I told these guys at halftime it's not easy to win these games, to get to an Elite Eight. There's only been 1 ever in Alabama. They've had all kinds of pros, and all times are really good teams. Wimp Sanderson's one of the better coaches in his era in the country, and they were never able to make it. Godfrey got to the 1 Elite Eight when Petway was on that team, and we heard about it forever in my 5 years because Petway's got the only Elite Eight. Now we got 2, and we're going to try to get the only Final Four. Clemson's good. They some of their guys killed us. So we got to get a better game plan. I thought the coaching staff, the assistants, our analytics crew did an unbelievable job getting us ready for this game against Carolina. I thought we had spot-on game plan. We got to do the same thing for Clemson. We won't be getting a lot of sleep tonight.
Any other questions? Go ahead here in the second row.
Apologies if you already kind of asked this, but how was your team able to respond to the runs tonight? Especially you were up at the under 4 timeout, I believe, then North Carolina goes on a run, and then how did you see your team respond and not kind of fold in those moments?
Yeah, that was a little disappointing. There was 3 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever, 3 at the under 4 in the first half you're referring to. I think we were up 7 if I remember right, or up 1 maybe. Yeah, we were up 1, and then they went on an 8-0 run. We're down 7. I had to call a timeout. So, we gave up some runs that – we've been using the word next, where I thought maybe we didn't move to the next play as good as we could have. Well, whether it was my timeout I called or whether it was a media timeout when we were able to get them together, I thought the energy was good. I thought Mark Sears' energy at the under 8, come on, we got to get this. The under 8, and I don't know what the score was at the under 8 media timeout, but that timeout I thought won the game with the energy in the huddle. Pringle, Sears. Things were not going well at that time. Things had gone well, and then they were trending in the wrong direction. And then, man, we came out, made a run. Grant Nelson got going, and we kind of took off there.
We got time for 2 more questions. Go ahead, right here in the 4th row.
I was hoping you could talk a little bit more about this team's defense and the struggles earlier in the season. Just the fact that they delivered today. I wondered what you said at halftime and how this team sort of finally peaked in that.
Yeah, listen, our defense definitely had struggles through the year. Okay, there's some guys on this team that have been trying to be great defenders all year. I think Rylan Griffin's one of them. We had a scrimmage against TCU, and he wasn't very good. We challenged him. He stepped it up. He's been great. One of the best players in the country. All-American status, Player of the Year status. R.J. Davis went 4-20 and 0-9 from 3, and Rylan stepped up to the challenge, and he's competitive. When Cormac Ryan hit those back-to-back to whatever the threes, he said, put me on him. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. Preston had the scout finalized. Preston, just put him on Cormac. That's it. Figure it out. He's going to take Cormac. had to deviate a little bit from the game plan because the game plan we thought was working. But, Ryland's defense was great. And you look at, we really were trying to zone in and stop Baycott and Davis. Baycott ended up with 19. RJ ended up with 16. But they took 38 shots combined to get those. They were a combined 12 of 38. So while they got points, they weren't very efficient. Like, you look at our guys, Grant Nelson scores 24 on 9 shots. Sears has been ridiculously efficient all year. He scored 18 on 14 shots. Like, I thought our guys were able to be a little more efficient. That's why we shot 48%. They shot 39% from the field. I thought we forced them into taking tough shots, and a lot of that's guys being locked in the scouting report, like guys being competitive. Ryland Griffin took it personal. Nick Pringle, Grant Nelson took Baycott. Mo Diabate came in and guarded Baycott, giving up all kinds of size. I thought he battled and fought pretty hard for us in there.
We have time for one last question. Right over here. Last one.
We kind of heard the players talk about, moving on to the next game already. Just how have you been able to kind of instill that attitude of raising the bar and trying to move this on to, like you said, trying to make the first Final Four in program history?
That goes with the next play, next action within the play, next game. But I did tell these guys, that's great. We made a Sweet 16. We've made 3 of them around here in the last 4 years. We've been 4 NCAA tournaments since I've been here. We've been in 3 Sweet 16s. We haven't really done anything yet. We beat 2 seeds that we were supposed to beat. We beat Charleston. No disrespect to Charleston. Pat does a great job. He's doing a great job at Louisville. But Charleston's got 1 NCAA tournament win in the history of their program. We beat Grand Canyon. They didn't have a tournament win until this year. Those programs had 2 combined NCAA tournament wins. Like, we haven't done anything yet. Like, it's great to be in the Sweet 16. Like, let's not take it for granted. There's only 2 SEC teams left in it. Like, but we haven't done a thing yet. So let's not act like we've done anything yet. Like, now, if we can beat Carolina, now we've done something. Now we're 1 win away from a Final Four, the first one in school history. So I think these guys will be locked in. We won't get to any video with them tonight. The staff will get it all first thing in the morning. It's a quick turnaround, but we've been good on these turnarounds. I think I've got one of the best staffs in the country, and those guys will be locked in. They're working on it right now. They got out of here immediately, and we'll have a game plan together by breakfast time, and we'll put it in. I think our guys will be ready to go come Saturday.